Welcome back to the NFL Draft Bible Player Spotlight Show. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com. Here we are bringing you the names that you need to know for the 2017 NFL Draft. Of course, we are presented by the College Gridiron Showcase and Symposium. We just wrapped up the third annual CGS last month. Over 100 NFL scouts in attendance from 30 of the 32 NFL teams. For more info, visit cgsallstar.com, and again, visit NFLDraftBible.com for scouting reports, player interviews such as this one, and much more. NFLDraftBible.com. And joining the Player Spotlight Show now is 2017 NFL Draft prospect out of the University of West Florida. He's wide receiver Anas Hasic. And Anas, we really appreciate you taking some time to join the show this afternoon. How's this draft process treating you, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. It's going real well. I think I have a great plan for it, and I'm just really enjoying the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So give the listeners more of an idea about you, about yourself. I mean, you were born in Croatia. You grew up in Arizona. What made you want to strap up the helmet, throw on some pads, and play football?
So when I first moved to the States, my two buddies that I actually met first when I moved here, they were big into football. And kind of going up through childhood, they were always trying to get me to play so we could hang out more. But I was never really into football. I played a lot of basketball and stuff like that and ran track. And then in high school, my junior year, they finally convinced me to play. And I ended up, going out to one of the passing leagues and had a good time. I really enjoyed it. And so that was kind of how I got into football, really, thanks to them.
Yeah, and, it was North Canyon High School in Phoenix, Arizona, where you left your mark at. You actually hold every receiving record there is at North Canyon. You would then take the JUCO route and spend 2 years at Scottsdale Community College, and then you spent a year at North Carolina Central playing in the MEAC in the FCS in 2014. Yep. 2015, you're away from the game. You did not play at all in 2015. During that year off, did you ever think that you may have played your last snap of the game of football?
No, I don't think that ever really crossed my mind. It was tough. It was a tough year, but I knew what my ultimate goal was, what I wanted to accomplish. So it was just kind of a year to kind of take a step back and just look at how I could really accomplish my goals and set like a route for me to take. And I just kind of trained that year, trained really hard, and that's how I ended up at West Florida.
Yeah, I mean, and you've seen it in the tape, in the highlights. I mean, you did not miss a beat. You were ready when your name was called this past season. And how did that opportunity come up to attend the University of West Florida and play for the Argonauts?
So when I left North Carolina Central, it was a D1 AA program, and I had played my 2 years of JUCO, so my clock was kind of already started. So I only had D2 eligibility, and I wasn't really aware of that. I thought I could try to play somewhere close to home, at the D1 level, and I wasn't really sure how any of that worked. So when I left Central and I found out, my clock was I could only play D2 football, a lot of D2 schools started reaching out to me, and I was kind of looking at, programs and stats and, who had a high-powered offense and stuff like that. And the coaches at West Florida, they were at Pembroke before, and they had a really nice system that I was really intrigued by. So I sent them an email just saying, I was interested in seeing if they needed a receiver, if they had money and stuff like that. And the recruiting process started from there. And, West Florida's in a great place in Pensacola. Beach really close, and it's a well-funded university. So it was just it was an easy pick for me to go there and finish my senior year there.
Yeah, it seems like a great college. And like you said, I mean, the location, Pensacola, Florida, very nice, very nice. And this past year, it was the football program's first year in existence there at West Florida. You guys played in arguably the toughest conference in Division II, the GSC, Gulf South Conference, having to take on teams such as Delta State and West Georgia, some of the top in Division II again. You guys finished the year 5-6. You were able to reel in 46 receptions for 720 yards and a team-high 8 touchdowns. How would you describe your performance this past season, your senior year, and how was your overall experience throughout your 1 year at West Florida?
In terms of my senior year, I think me as a person, as a competitor, I always think, I could have had a better year and I could have done more. But I feel statistically I had a pretty solid year in a tough conference. I had some great film, and I think we did well as a team overall, especially as a very, very young team. We had 3 seniors. And it's a very strong conference. It's loaded, you know. I mean, that conference has produced people like Malcolm Butler. So, you know, it's always going to be talent there.
The SEC of Division II, I hear.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. And a lot of the teams in that conference play a lot of man just because they think, you know, their athletes are going to be better, and it's true. So I think I had a good little year. The team had a great year, I think, for an inaugural season. It was awesome to be a part of it. It was real special there. So I think in the future, I think they're going to do really big things there as the program progresses and as it grows. I think it's going to be something special there. But in terms of myself, I mean, I felt ready. I trained that entire year before it. Coach Deese, the wide receivers coach there, he's one of the best receivers coaches I really ever had, and he really helped me get up to speed as well. And so, you know, I think I did everything I could to prepare myself, and I had a good little year there. And throughout the year, saw a lot of cloud coverage and doubles, and you know, I just did what I could there. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, a very impressive season, not only out of you, but the team as a whole, especially for that being the first year the football program was there at West Florida. And you know, I got to say, those helmets, those uniforms, those might be some of the best in Division II right there. You look pretty good in them, my man. Now, since the season has been over, I mean, give us a look as to what your schedule has looked like. I know you've been crazy busy training for a pro day.
Yes, sir. So I'm down here in Tuscaloosa with Johnny Jackson at his gym. It's called JDPI, and this is the actual gym of Malcolm Butler. That's where he trained, and Johnny Jackson gave him a shot when nobody really believed in him. So that's kind of what brought me down here. And, you know, if you look at Johnny's resume and some of the guys he's gotten ready for Pro Day, they've tested and done really well. So that's kind of who I enlisted his services of. So I'm down here in Tuscaloosa just training real hard. Hopefully Pro Day will be March 9th at the University of Alabama.
Okay.
Just waiting to make sure and confirm that, but that's what it's looking like. And training's going really well. I don't think I thought I was training hard before, but I'm really training hard now. So.
Well, hey, you know what? If you could get into that Alabama Pro Day, I mean, there would be nothing better than that right there. Obviously, all 32 teams will be in attendance to see those prospects there, and of course yourself. So that would be absolutely huge. And yeah, again, I mean, great to hear that things are going well training-wise, getting some work in. Hopefully, maybe Malcolm Butler, the now two-time Super Bowl champ, may stop in, and maybe we can get some one-on-ones on film real quick with Hasic and Malcolm Butler. That would be a sight to see. Any specific goals or any specific numbers you want to hit at your pro day?
You know, I don't want to let too much out the bag, but hopefully trying to get 40 reps on bench, and I want to break 4.4 or run around 4.4. Those are the two big goals, and then obviously I want to do my best in every other category and event. But I feel like those are the real important ones to me, and I feel like I'm capable of doing those. So those are the ones I'm really looking forward to.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're definitely going to be keeping tabs on that without a doubt. Again, we're chatting with the 2017 NFL Draft prospect, the wide receiver out of West Florida, Anas Hasic, here on the NFL Draft Bible Player Spotlight Show. Don't forget, you can check out this interview as well as much more NFL Draft material over at NFLDraftBible.com. Now, talking opponents, who do you feel is the best player that you've been able to line up against? Is there anybody specific that sticks out when you look at your collegiate career?
In terms of actual college play or outside of just one-on-one?
Either or, really.
You know, last summer when I took the year off, well, I guess 2 summers now, when I took that year off, there's a place in Arizona, it's called Fisher Sports, and there's a guy there named Will Sullivan. He trained Darrell Revis and Logan Ryan, and when I was out there, I wasn't doing much, so sometimes he'd give me a call, come do one-on-ones with those guys to get them ready and train them. And I'd have to say, outside of my actual collegiate career, those two, I got to run one-on-ones against them, and those two were probably the best players I got to play against. But in terms of playing actual college football, there was a corner out off the state, number 1, and he was a real good corner. He was about 6'2", real rangy, real long, big, strong corner. And me and him were going at it that whole night, so at Valdosta State.
All right, number 1. I'll have to go ahead and go back and look that one up. Now, if you did have to go back and choose one game out of your entire collegiate career, you could go back to your community college days, you could go back to NC Central, or just this past season at West Florida. You know, let's say you had an opportunity to tell an NFL scout to go back and check out one game from your collegiate career. What game would that be? Do you have anything in mind?
I'd have to probably go with Probably my game against Delta State my senior year at West Florida. I think that really showcases my ability in terms of the speed, size, hands, route running. I did everything I could in that game, so I think that'll probably be the best one for a scout to look at for me against a real tough D2 opponent. So,
yeah, again, that GSC opponent, that Gulf South Conference opponent, Delta State. Now, let's say if you could give yourself a brief scouting report, Anas, what would you say is your biggest strength as a wide receiver, and what is one thing you feel the need that you could still improve on?
I'd have to say my best strength as a wide receiver is probably, I feel like I'm a real complete receiver in terms of strength and size and speed. I think I bring all of that. But with that, I think I can run routes and I have great hands. And I'm not going to really get knocked off my route when I'm running a route because I'm a little bit bigger than most DBs and I'm real physical. I think that's probably my best strength is just being complete. I pride myself in being complete. I don't try to, pick on one thing and just be super good at it. I want to be good at everything I do. So I think that's my strength. And then my weakness, I'd have to say, in terms of scouts' eyes, they'd probably say, my height, because ideally nowadays people like real big, tall receivers. But that's from their perspective. I think that might be a weakness. But I think I play a lot bigger than my height is anyway. So.
Absolutely, absolutely, without a doubt. What are you, about 5'10", 215?
About 5'11", yeah, right. About 5'11", 215.
All right, and you know what, the physicality shows, and you know what, you don't see that type of physicality in a 5'11" wide receiver just about every day. I'll tell you what, cornerbacks do not want to jam you at the line of scrimmage. I'll say that right now. I like it, man. I like it a lot, and you see it in the film. The physicality is absolutely there, and that's one of my favorite parts of your game that you bring to the table. Just a couple more questions, and then we'll let you go. Really do appreciate your time. Is there a current or former NFL wide receiver that you kind of try and model your game after, maybe take bits and pieces of their game and add it onto your own?
I think because of how I am, I think I'm kind of a hybrid of a couple receivers. I try to take stuff from. I think you could compare me to like a Steve Smith in terms of like his intensity. I think I'm kind of like a Julian Edelman, kind of fit that type of mold just because of my size. I just try to take a lot of good traits from good receivers and try to kind of combine that into my game. But I think if you were to look at my tape and see my game, it'd be a combo of a few good receivers like that, or like a Crabtree, something like that,
One thing those two guys, or you could even throw Michael Crabtree in there as well. Edelman, Crabtree, Steve Smith. One thing that they bring to the table and is very entertaining is they like to do a lot of jabbing. They like to do a lot of talking on the field. Are you a talker on the field? Do you get in the face of cornerbacks and defenders?
I can't really say I'm a talker in terms of my mouth, but I am a pretty emotional and I like to get real physical, and that's kind of how I talk. If somebody wants to talk, I'm just gonna bring it, But I'm too focused really on the game to really talk like that, like some of those guys. But that's just how I am, But ain't nothing wrong with that, I guess. It's football.
Well, final question for you. Really do appreciate your time, man. Had a blast chatting with you. Let's say we got all 32 NFL general managers. They're tuned in. They're listening to this very interview. Why should they want the wide receiver out of West Florida, Anas Hasic, a part of their organization? What are you going to bring to the table that will ultimately help an organization to the promised land, and win that Super Bowl?
I think, if a team takes a chance on me, they're going to get a very versatile athlete who can do multiple things. And I think I could do them really well. And I think I'm somebody who's going to sell out for an organization and really give you everything I got. And you can move me around and just get different types of looks, whether it's any of the special teams, anywhere on offense, whatever they need. I think they're going to get a big, strong, explosive athlete who can do many things, and that will really help an organization out.
Well, Anas, again, I really appreciate it. Had a blast chatting with you. Congratulations on what was a pretty successful, very successful collegiate career here. You are now getting ready for the NFL. Again, it's been a lot of fun connecting with you. Happy we were finally able to chat. And, one of the more underrated prospects entering the 2017 NFL Draft, Anas Hasic, wide receiver, West Florida. Really appreciate it, man. Any final words?
No, man, I really appreciate you having me on here. And I think what you said at the end is something I really agree with, too. I feel like I may be underrated at times, but, it's the underdog story, and I love it. So, and I really appreciate you having me, man. It was good chatting with you. Absolutely. Hey, they'll find you. There's no doubt about that. For sure.
Anas, thank you again very much, and have a great rest of the day, man.
Thanks, man. You too.